Hey guys, it's Delisa here, and I'm coming to you today with a video on a vocal analysis for Mrs. Tina Campbell. Now, most of you guys know the gospel group Mary Mary, and Tina Campbell is one half of Mary Mary. She is known as the redheaded one. And I just wanted to do a vocal analysis on her. I said it in my last video on Erica Campbell, her sister. They are like my favorite singing group ever, and Tina Campbell is actually my favorite singer, right behind Miss Whitney Houston. So she's pretty up there as far as my respect level personally. So Miss Tina. So first I just want to talk about her vocal falk. You know, I obviously would classify her as a soprano. I really think she's a lyric soprano, really listening to her. She does have a very powerful voice. Well, let's just say I feel like she's a lyric soprano because she has a great lower register that goes probably into the threes on the piano. However, it's where her voice is very warm but not super strong, and her voice becomes piercingly strong as she gets higher. And usually when a voice starts to pierce, that's kind of where they're the most comfortable. So yeah, I would definitely say she's a soprano. I think she's a lyric soprano as opposed to being dramatic or spinto, because I just don't feel like her voice has enough weight to it to really give it a spinto. Like when I listen to like Whitney Houston's voice, definitely a spinto. When I listen to Patti LaBelle, for me, that's like definitely at least a spinto. I don't really get that same vibe from Tina. I just feel like her voice is a little bit light to be considered that. So that being said, I mean, of course, this is just Delisa talking. I definitely think that she is an amazing lyric soprano. At the very least, she can belt up to an A6. She's a fantastic vocalist, and I will explain why. I really don't have anything to say negative about her because she has stellar vocal technique, and I'll explain why. She is able to extend her voice beyond, usually sopranos that are really good at belting high notes have a hard time singing in their middle and lower register. Tina Campbell has mastered singing all throughout her range, and not just kind of mastered her best points because of stellar technique. What do I mean? When you are singing super high and when you are belting really high, you're doing that because your soft palate is lifted really high. It's almost like you're doing an upside down kind of smile in the back of your throat. And you're placing the voice right behind your nose, and it's an interesting dynamic that you have to do with your tongue, because on one hand you kind of have to flatten the back a little bit to create more space than you normally would have to, and singing with a flat tongue in general is not a good idea, but when you're hitting like E's, F's, G's, and A's, you really do kind of have to make those adjustments as you get higher. So again, you kind of want to get the sound in here. So I said all of that to say it takes a lot of breath support, a lot of just pressure to get the note right when you're singing that high. And then she is able to come down into her middle register and not sound froggy. Because what happens is a lot of times once you've sung that high, as you start to come down, your soft palate falls, and then you kind of get that sound, or you get nasal. And she manages to do neither. She manages to keep her voice warm, and the way that you keep your voice warm through transitions is by disciplining yourself to keep your soft palate very tall. I know it just sounds like a simple exercise, but it's actually quite a challenge to keep your soft palate tall when you're singing at like 100% output. And she does that really well. And if you really listen, the early Mary Mary albums, it's really hard to tell Erica and Tina apart. But as the years have gone by, Erica's voice has, both of their voices have matured, because obviously it's been like 10, 15 years. But Erica's voice has just gotten darker and darker, and Tina's voice has stayed very light, and I feel like that is in part, obviously they just have different voices, but I feel like Tina's voice has managed to sound lighter because of her lighter technique. What happens when you keep your soft palate lifted, it kind of takes away that forced sound. It turns something that even if you are singing in a full belt, it makes it warm. And so that's what I love about her voice. I don't know if I'm explaining it really well, but what I love about her voice is she manages to keep her voice very warm, whether she's singing low or whether she's singing high. And obviously her voice stays very flexible because of that. And she has amazing breath support and amazing placement. So I would say for people that really want to learn great gospel technique, I think that Tina Campbell would be an amazing example. She has this one song that reminds me of my favorite singer, Whitney Houston, and she has an album out. I want to say, when did it come out? Don't have me start lying now. I don't remember. It's been a few months, but the song is Life. And to me, it just reminds me of like a gospel version of I'm Every Woman. It's like this amazing song with her vocals are just amazing. And it just goes to show, and then if you listen to that, if you listen to Speak the Word, really her entire album, she's amazing. But those two songs really just show what a powerhouse singer she is and how much endurance she has as a singer, how much amazing placement she has as a singer, her agility as a singer, and her versatility. So yeah, she's just a flat-foot amazing vocalist, and you could stand to learn a lot from her. I hope I didn't miss anything. I've just pretty much sung her praises for the last 5 minutes. There's nothing. Okay, I will say this before I go, because you know, you always try to find something to critique because nobody's perfect, right? But I mean, she kind of is, because if you listen to her older records, she actually did used to be kind of nasal. If you listen to her back in late 90s, early 2000s. So I think that whatever technique she has now, she's grown into or she's learned or picked up from somewhere. So I will say she did used to be the soprano that was just singing all the high notes and, you know, crazy runs and all of that stuff, and her runs weren't always super clean. And so if you actually go back and listen to her back in 99, 2000, 2001, you can hear the growth that she's had. That's why I'm saying I feel like she's gotten as great as she has because she has at some point picked up great technique. So yeah, I hope I've informed you in some way of why I love her so much, why she's like my favorite living vocalist. I guess if you have any questions, if I didn't say something, you know, let me know. But definitely, she's amazing. Get her album. It's called It's Personal. It's a wonderful worship album and just celebration of, you know, how the love of Christ can bring you through anything and change everything. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I can't wait to hear from you. God bless. Bye.